I would like to mention Vilda Park Country Club, and that following Mequon Country Club was the change of name of the same country club from my point of view. I live right in that area. If I'm in my house, if my house isn't being paid out to somebody else by somebody else, yeah, I didn't get to go back there and swim when I was thin but not healthy, but it was a pool that I've been in before, so I did not get the keys back in the year 2005, but I had very good leverage at the time, and I'm still alive. It's holding me alive is undesirable, but I didn't die the wrong way, so I'm fine. It's year 2025 now, so that was 20 years ago. I was going for the keys so I could go back to Vilda Park Country Club, which is Mequon Country Club, and swim in their pool. I was thin, but I didn't have a lot of muscle. I'm technically a drowning at that point. I need the lifeguard for myself instead of that I am one. But to myself, yeah. I was a lifeguard to myself, not to somebody else, not like that. I have some leftover milk. I used this about half an hour ago. It was room temperature. I removed this part of the label. I opened the top and it broke the seal. And I did shake it before I opened it. And then I poured half of it into a pot of boiling water. There was a cup and a half of boiling water, and then I added half a cup of milk into the boiling water. And I made Nor pasta sides, and it needed butter or margarine. I didn't have that. It was not what I wanted. What I really think it needs is cheese, and I don't have any cheese to add to make it better. Buffalo chicken flavored Nor pasta sides. So anyway, I have this leftover milk. I put it in the freezer and I just took it out so it's cold. And I want to mix it with some of this, but I like the taste of this as it is. If I am going to add milk into this bottle, it would have to be to make it better. So I have to add this into this bottle. Oh, okay. Let me do that. I don't want to waste the milk. And it's already open, and I can't drink it plain because it has that it's been on a shelf. This has been on a shelf, and it smells fine, but this, whether it's cold or not, this is cold, but if it's room temperature, it also smells okay. This smells right now, I don't like the smell of it, even though I took it out of the freezer so that it wouldn't hopefully smell. It smells. Well, I don't want to waste it. It's for cereal, but I don't want cereal right now. Do we? Do we want cereal? Nope, we don't want it anymore. Okay, now I have it full. I guess you can see because it's clear. Okay, right here. The fill line, it's full up to here, so I can put the lid on. This is the lid. Now I need to shake it. But I would normally add the milk into the other problem. But it's about to be me. I don't have the threat that I need to do anything about this strength because I like the way it is as it is. Yep. Well, I don't detect an odor out of the bottle. It smells neutral. But I haven't poured it into here because I like this the way that it is. So I'm going to leave it. It needs more taste. Yeah. All right. Well, I am tampering with the stock this way. It's all paid for, but you don't know what the charges are for. I know what the charges are for. I'm reversing the charges right now to the cashiers who sold these products. And it's threatening in the creator. It means I don't have identified who is the cashier by the receipt and all the numbers that are counted high, too high. It's too high for the cashier's mental capacity. They're supposed to leave on the threatening that they stole everything. They could leave on anything they object to about what they steal because their cashier is loitering. So, what about sex offenders? Because I know them by name. I know how many times I've said their names is not true. All the time I think about them, and I don't know the cashiers that way, and the cashiers don't know me that way. And I want to know why God has sex offenders that are very personally known and very much not responsible for any monetary damages they caused or any monetary responsibilities of the future, and they're not responsible for being in prison for paying out restitution, that they are negligent on those points of that they are not responsible for that they hurt somebody who was on their way anyway and alive in their own money, and they're also not responsible for paying anything because it's fuck, right? Fuck means you can fuck anyone you want and you can leave them idling in their threatening. You don't have to pay them any compensation or money. If they do it for money, you could say that's all you owe them. They're like prostitutes, right? A female's a prostitute, a male's a prostitute. The male has testicles and he's prostituting his testicles. Well, that's what I mean about the cashier not knowing who they hurt. The cashier is taking how many payments? Do they get fired ever or do they just die? What if the cashier died? Does anyone want to give cashier accounting money hostaging and then the cashier just died? And that's God having to be responsible for the threatening of that the cashier was in a store that had a name and the cashier doesn't have a last name that way. But they do on their payroll have a last name. I know because I've had payroll of, let's see, Al Cortez Hotel and Casino. I was not a cashier, but it's a front desk clerk and it's got cash in there. $1,000 till. And I absolutely died of the money I accepted as a front desk clerk. I died. I died so many times over that job, and it was threatening that I wasn't going to work because I was hospitalized in a mental hospital in Elgin, Illinois. And inside the hospital, they wouldn't just let me be in there as a patient. They wanted me to discharge in 3 weeks and get a job. Oh, I got so angry. Yes, I got so angry. I got a job and put more leverage on them than they ever had to say that to me. And I never heard that again until I was deceased. And I heard Jerry, Geri, in the year 2024, was it? Sometime, I can't say the exact time because I was homeless, to give myself deceasement. But I didn't know I was going to live and end up back here. So when I was here, I was already deceased, that I knew. But she said when I sued her for in the office, I shouted in the office as well. I sued her for an apartment for just myself because I'm shouted in the office, lives alone, is due to live alone. I could also accept a house key. But I was in an apartments complex office, and she said no. Yep, she said no, as if it's that easy to be deceased. I'm so old, and I'm deceased as disclosed. I have no other leverage for you. And she told me, well, if you want to get an apartment to live alone in, can you get a job and pay the rent? She's made me so angry. I wanted to beat her up, and I can't. I absolutely can't. I don't have the leverage to kill her. I absolutely don't. I could have gone off on her, but I can't because I don't have the leverage to kill her. I'm not an athlete anymore, and if I was an athlete, I don't have the leverage to kill her because I fired a tennis racket, and I did all of the sports anyway. I fired my height because I was once really small. And I don't have what it takes to kill somebody with my childhood. Do you think that's funny? Oh, you're so angry you're going to kill somebody and you have a birthday. Kill them with your birthday. Kill them with that you grew up your height and somebody was carrying you around like using a car or feeding you food or, right? You want to kill somebody. I know, because you glutton. You people glutton all the way through the possibility of killing somebody who has made you angry in the gluttony. They are not due in public. Oh, you're due in prison. Jared is due in prison for saying that to me. I am not an Estrada. My last name is not Estrada. My last name is deceased. That's why it's shouted. I don't have a last name. And I told myself in the threatening, I don't want to come back here. And now that I am here alone and Charles Toe is not here anymore, she came to the front door and charged me the rent and called the police and tried to have me arrested. Yep, I don't afford you people. All you do is try to move myself is the threatener. And that's because I am myself the threatener. You have a life that way. You don't want to know who I am is not interesting to that I am just one God form here. I'm just myself. There's nobody but me who does what I do, who is what I am. There is nobody but me who is what I am. And you still want to have me arrested and jailed and imprisoned so that you can punish me to death. You want to give me a death penalty? How do you even know what that is? Who taught you how to fuck?